Howdy guys, Rex here. Today we're going to do a crash course like for anyone who needs to like learn immediately how to store food to not die. This is what it takes to keep one adult alive for 1 year, okay? Now this is just survival stuff. This is not like optimum nutrition or some specialized diet plan. This is just like the basics, real basic. You will fill up your grocery cart once or twice a week, all the way to the top, and it's gone immediately. Most of that's air weight, so a lot of people don't have the idea of what the logistics really are. A lot of things to consider. I understand why it is actually confusing if you don't have experience with it, because you got to consider nutrition profiles, how it stacks, how it packs, how it keeps. It's another big deal for food storage, right? You need it to keep for a long time. So that takes a lot of options off the table that would have been very highly nutritious or superior in those ways. But this is for like a backup plan for like if there was some kind of disaster. If this house of cards ever blows over, then you will at least have enough food to get through the chaos period, and then it'll give you a buffer so you can learn how to hunt and fish or do whatever you need to do after that to survive. So here we go. 7 things. You ready? So, number 1, you're going to need, this is for one person for 1 year, not for your whole family, for one person for 1 year, okay? You're going to need 400 pounds of grains. 400 pounds of grains, okay? I would say like rice. If you don't want to do a lot of preparation, you can get pastas because they're very, very stacked. Like spaghetti stacks real nice. You can keep a lot of it in a small area, and it's easy to prepare, okay? You can flour if you know how to bake. If you have a mill, you can get grain from the grain elevator, oats or whatever, okay? But you're going to need 400 pounds of grains. I tend to kind of swing towards the pastas and rice because that's something that you can actually whip up. You know what I mean? You can actually eat it. Like right now, you don't have to do a lot of complicated stuff to make that happen, okay? Second thing you're going to need, number 2 on the list, is legumes. What's that? Beans, right? You're going to need beans, man. You're going to need nutrition, a whole different nutritional profile, different kinds of proteins, different kinds of fats. I'm not talking beans in a can. I'm talking dried beans, okay? Most of the weight in the can is water weight, okay? And you're going to need water too, but like most of that's water weight. I'm talking like big bags of beans. Now, don't get too soy on me, because if you need to pull perimeter security, and you had too much soy, you're not going to be as useful. Okay, so diversify your beans. Get like pinto beans, kidney beans, black beans, all them. There's all kinds of good beans out there. You can get the mixed bags, whatever. 60 pounds of that. Okay, then you're going to need 12 pounds of powdered milk. Okay, now why would you need that? You're going to sit there and just eat a plate of powdered milk during the apocalypse? No, but you're going to use it to complement what you got going on with your other stuff. Okay, and so powdered milk is another thing to add. This is coming from the list, by the way. So get a cookbook, and then you can get more creative, okay? So after you have that, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to have some sugar, or preferably honey. Honey is a lot better than just straight white sugar. White sugar is kind of the devil. Bad for you, okay? Honey will last for thousands of years. It's like the mummies in the pyramids. When they find honey in there, it's still good. It's crystallized. You just got to heat it, and it's good. So the idea is the mummy, when he wakes up on the resurrection, he sits up out of his chair, gets all that mummy toilet paper off of him that he got from Costco, and then he's going to go and he's going to go over to the honey, put it in the microwave, or put it to some flame, heat it up, and then he'll have some really good food. Very, very high density energy, and it's also good for your immune system. There's a lot of pollen and stuff like that in honey. It's just good for you to have overall. Then you're going to need cooking oil, okay? You're going to need 10 liters of cooking oil. I would diversify that as well. Don't just get one kind. Also keep an eye on the longevity of this stuff, like how long does it keep? There's some stuff that's really, really superior, but it ain't going to last that long. So you have to think about that as well if you're going to store it, right? I really like palm oil. It has a great nutritional profile, a whole different set of vitamins in it that you ain't going to find a lot of other places. Of course, coconut oil is good, but do check and see how this stuff keeps. That's very, very important, okay? Then you're going to need salt, at least like 8 pounds of salt, okay? And that's for obvious reasons. You're going to want iodized salt with iodine. You don't want brominated salt. Bromine and bromide, that works against the human body. Now, it's on the halogen end of the spectrum if you look at the periodic table, just like iodine. So the body thinks it's iodine because it has the same exact chemical properties in terms of the valence electron configuration, so it's going to be taken into the body all happily, but when it gets there, it jams everything up. It actually calcifies your glands. Not really the technical exact right term, but it's going to give you a lot of health problems. So do get the iodized stuff, okay, with iodine. Now, there's a affordable option. And salt's actually pretty cheap. You can buy it. But if you want really good, like high mineral salts with a lot of different other trace minerals in it, you can go down and get yourself some of that gourmet kind of red salt. People say it's kind of expensive. That's true. You will need a grinder, but you can go to a feedlot. And a friend of mine who actually teaches survival classes to Tier 1 outfits told me, we were talking about canning the other day, canning meats and stuff like that. He's like, dude, like, just go down to the livestock feed place and get like a few 50-pound bags of Redmond number 10. It's like a fine grain, high mineral salt. It's the exact same stuff on the grocery store shelf, but it's $14 for a 50-pound bag instead of $7 for a tiny little thing like this. Okay? And you can use it for canning, and it has all the minerals and stuff you're ever going to need right in there. So that's very, very handy. So you're going to need salt. That's a big deal. And of course, last but not least, you need water. Okay? You cannot buy or store enough water in your house for a year. Okay? Unless you got a really big cistern. The average human in a week will go through, in survival mode, this is being not showering, not using it for the toilet. I'm just talking just for cooking and for drinking and stuff like that. You're going to need to have like 8 gallons of water a week. And you got 54 weeks in a year. So 8 times 54, that's how many gallons of water you need to survive for a year. So basically, you're going to need a big cistern. You're going to need a rain collection system for your roof that goes into a cistern or barrels or something like that. Or you're going to need a well. Okay? Now, don't depend on an electric submersible pump, because if your electricity goes out, you don't have any electricity. Don't depend on just a generator, because a generator can go bad. You need a second way to draw that water, okay? So or your generator will run out of fuel. You're gonna store enough fuel for a year? You know how expensive that is? It's not gonna happen, okay? The generator will get you through other things, and I would recommend having a generator backup. That's really smart. But the old school way of drawing water was a windmill, right? It turns the propellers, it's on, you got it turned in a deal, and it pumps a hand pump. So you can get a hand pump or whatever you want. If you want to get all old school about it, or you can live near surface water. You're going to need a way to have clean water. Get yourself like a Berkey or a Pro Pure water filter, where you can just dump a bunch of water. You can take a leak in the top and it'll come out brand new. And it goes through ceramic filters, and they have a whole variety of different filters for different things. You look at your water profile in your area, see what kind of filters would be optimum for that. But you're going to need some way to sort of clean the water. Most people in America are not ready to drink water out of the river. Most of the world, people drink water right off the ground, out of the river or out of a stream, and they're fine, because they have built up their immune system since they're babies to be used to that. An American does it, and you might just drop dead in a week or two, okay? You don't want to. I had Giardia one time, first time I ever went over to Asia, and it almost killed me. It was really, really, really bad, okay? And so you got to be careful with that. Just be mindful that you need clean water. So that's your 7 things, okay? Hopefully that's helpful. Of course, this will be really, 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 really nice, because it'll give you the option, if it gets too hot or too scary, there's too many bad guys out there, to just kind of stay put. The best way to win a fight is not to be at it, right? So if you're just staying put wherever you're at, and you're not going out on patrols all the time looking for food or looking for deer or squirrels when it's really hot, and I'm talking danger hot, right? Then you're going to be a lot better off. Bullets are a really, really bad deal, especially when there's no hospitals, okay? That'll ruin your day right there, okay? And of course, you're going to have to eventually learn the skills of making your own food, growing your own food, basically hunting, fishing, gathering, scavenging, whatever you got to do, okay? And those are all skill sets that will need to be acquired. This year's supply, here's my plan, is that I got my backup right? That's my backup. I don't touch that unless I absolutely have to. I'm gonna try to stay alive, if as long as possible, by fishing or hunting in a rural area. Like if you live in a rural area, you're a lot better off than you are in a big city someplace where you can't go hunting. At least not for four-legged critters, or you don't want to be eating house pets and stuff like that. That's not very good. So it's nice to have a backup option. But if you can supplement your diet right away, if you're already used to hunting or fishing or gardening, or you have an apple tree in your backyard or orchards near you, I mean, that's really awesome to have. If you have any kind of property at all, like grow fruit trees and all that stuff, and then save that storage for a buffer. If you have a really bad winter, or your crop burns down, or floods, that happens all the time, and there ain't no farmer's insurance in the apocalypse. So have that food stored, ready to rock and roll as an emergency, and if you need it, you got it. Okay? All right? If you like it, subscribe to the channel. Click the little thumbs up button. Hit that little bell thing there under the TV thing that you're looking at, and I think that makes the notifications come to you. And then you can check out rexdefense.com if you want to come shoot with us. We're actually right now driving to our course in West Texas, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to be shooting over 3,000 yards, having a good time out there. We're going to get out the crazy weaponries. And we got Eduardo coming in. He just arrived, so it's going to be glorious. So we'll see you cats there at the class who are coming. My compadres. It's going to be like a big old family reunion. And for the rest of you, this video is kind of like, if you weren't into it yet, sort of a loving clue. Be prepared, man. Be prepared. Like, you don't know when this house of cards blows over, okay? It could be something very small that does it. Very fragile society we live in all honesty, okay? Be prepared.